Hello, everyone. Welcome to Late Night Thoughts with Christina Bradley. So, I want to talk about the unfortunate passing of Chelsea Kryst. If you don't know who she was the winner of Miss USA in 2019 for North Carolina. On January 30th, Chelsea, who was 30 years old at the time, was pronounced dead by suicide, unfortunately. So I'm going to play a clip from CBS News.
Welcome back now to a tragic story in Manhattan. Cheslie Kryst, who was the 2019 winner of the Miss USA pageant, has died at the age of 30. Take a look. This was Kryst's final post on Instagram just a day ago. Sources say she died by suicide this morning in Midtown. Kryst was an attorney in North Carolina and a correspondent for the entertainment news program Extra. Her family confirmed the news in a statement saying, quote, "Her great light was one that inspired others around the world with her beauty and strength. And as a daughter, sister, friend, mentor, and colleague, we know her impact will live on." If you or someone you know is struggling, help is available 24/7 at the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Just call 1-800-273-8255.
So you heard what the news have to say. So I'm going to go on Instagram and post her last picture, and I'm going to read her last quote that she posts. It says, "May this day bring you rest and peace." It's truly unfortunate that she took her own life. Very sad. May her rest in peace. I also want to say rest in peace to all of those who have committed suicide throughout the years. And for those who are thinking about it, I pray that you do seek help. The police report said that she had jumped from her building and she had left a note and leaving everything towards her mother. So I was on the shade room yesterday when everything was unfolding and everybody was talking about it, like in the comments. And in the shade room, if you know, like I know, there's negative and there's positive. Sometimes there's more negative in the comments. But there was like this one comment, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So I'm going to read y'all the comments. "But for someone so successful and beautiful, why you just threw it away? It don't make sense to me. There people really committing suicide because how they really feel ugly or get treated. No matter how long they try to be nice or kind to others and don't have nobody, literally not even a kind speech would work for their brain because they already sabotaged their life to believe they're losers or failure. But for someone like you, we're left clueless because she didn't express that to her fans. Godly, I mean, it's so unfair that the beautiful ones are ungrateful and get praise while the ones who literally feel ugly because nobody likes them or get made fun of or even can't get in a relationship have no choice but to be grateful because of what they have. Now, it's understandable if someone left you with trauma or you're acting out or what you've been missing and feeling at home. But life really is unfair. People would only be worried or risk it all if you're pretty. But if you're ugly, they only care after you're dead. I'm so empty, for real. Peace sign. Sorry guys, if you hear music in the background, I live in New York. And yeah, I think that explains itself. They got over here. Blasting music from the look, police sirens. Get 'em. Sorry, in advance. So after reading this comment, I felt like this was so sad. Like this was just too much. It was too much for me, and I felt like let me just come on and talk about it because I know there's a lot of girls, a lot of people like that think this way, that feel like people who are pretty, they just so confused on why would somebody who look like her would commit suicide because they live in a fantasy and they think that only one type of people commit suicide and it's the quote unquote ugly people. Um, Suicide affects everybody. Depression affects everybody. Like, it's not just one type of person who goes through it or go through it more. I know in society like to lie and make it seem, well, if you look good, you have money, you have fame, you have this, then you want for nothing. Like, you're the most happiest of person of them all, and that's not true. And I feel bad for people who do believe that, because no, and for her to make this situation only about her and like people that is quote unquote ugly, it's not fair. This have nothing to do with how you feel, and this have nothing to do with how other people feel. This is her life, her situation. She commits suicide. You did not. You're still here on the internet, you know, trying to make light of the situation and trying to downplay what happened to her because you think she's too beautiful and too gorgeous, and we basically should not care because other people go through this. I don't think it's fair to think that way. And if you do think that way, then it's giving bitter. It's giving bitter and miserable, and that you, my friend, need to seek help, because you're not making your life better, and you're not making her situation or anybody else's situation better at all. So I had went on the shade room yesterday, and I had went back to see if anybody else had respond to the comments and stuff like that. So it looked like a couple more people liked her post. So we're going to get into the comments and, her responding back to what she said. And I looked on her page. She seems to be an older female, like an older woman, probably like in her 24 and up. So let's get into the response to this comment. So the response underneath the comment was, everything that glitter ain't gold. You can be the most richest person in the world and have no inner happiness and no self peace. And I 100% agree with that. I believe when you're used to growing up poor, because a lot of us, in society, consider us to be poor. If you don't have a mansion, if you don't got like 30, 50 cars, if you don't, you're not out here dining and whining in a 5-star restaurant every single day, you're basically considered poor in society. So when you grow up not living these lifestyles and not going out on vacations, and you're not getting a million likes underneath your picture, you're not posting a video, and you're not getting all those thousands of views, you feel like you're missing out on something. You believe the grass is greener on the other side, and you believe, because you're materialistic, because that tend to fit with materialistic. You're materialistic, and you believe if you had all of these material items, you would be happy. You will finally get out and go on that date. You will finally be happy. You will finally be satisfied. And that's not necessarily true. But when you are in the midst of struggle, the only thing you're thinking about is your come up. You're not thinking about the effects of being rich and famous. You're not thinking about that. You're not thinking about the sacrifice that a lot of these celebrities have to do. A lot of them can't see their family. A lot of them can't really go on vacation. And when they do go on it, it's work. So you're just working. You can't like enjoy something. You can't eat what you want to eat because you got to worry about your figures. Like regular people. Regular people also, you want to go out, but you can't because you got to pay rent and you got to make sacrifices. Celebrities also make sacrifices. And she was what? A pageant model. Model sacrifice. A lot of models You know, in the pageant industry, you have to be gorgeous, gorgeous, flawless 24/7, and nobody is flawless 24/7. And like you have this persona that you got to keep up. I couldn't imagine, me personally, having to wear makeup 24/7, having to watch what I eat 24/7, having to be responsible for what I tweet and what I say, because the whole world is looking, at me, and having to do all of this. There is a privilege to being regular. There's a privilege to having peace, like, because you have your own privacy. You might not have your own privacy like in a house, if you're in a house with other people, but your own privacy of people is not on you 24/7, of like watching every little thing you do, critiquing everything you're doing. You might have, again, a couple of people that might comment under your pictures and stuff, but that does not compare to the thousands and millions of people that is watching you. I'm pretty sure they're stressed out 24/7. So be careful what you wish for. Happiness does not equal money, fame, vacation, uh a certain type of relationship, um, beauty, people liking you. Like, that does not equal happiness. A lot could go wrong with that. So let's look into what she have to say when this person had sent this response. So she said that's a fact. But my thing is, for someone as beautiful as her, I'm sure whatever she was dealing with, people would risk their time and safety to help her get through what she was going through just because she's beautiful and have fans. It's unlikely for others, though. She threw it all away and was left clueless because she didn't even express anything to her fans, the ones who were obsessed with her and loved her. Um, there's a problem with what she is saying, because the only thing she is focusing on is her beauty. Like, she keeps saying she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, and stuff like that, as if that's the only key to life. Like, she's only paying attention of what she looks like. She's not paying attention to that people go through things, people struggle, people have emotions, people can feel. She's only looking at the outside of her and not what she was dealing with on the inside. And this is something you're going to constantly see, that she's only focusing on her appearance, nothing else. And that is not good, because she's only projecting. People like that is only projecting their own insecurities onto her, which is sad, because this lady committed suicide, and all she's just focusing on is how she feel about her being insecure versus a girl that died. Okay. And then she goes on and saying that just because she's beautiful, that means that she can get help. Uh, no, being beautiful have nothing to do whether you go see a therapist or not, whether somebody wants to help you. In reality, a lot of people who are sad, depressed, going through a lot, really is going through all these things, they do tend to have people on their side. They do have people calling and texting them. They do have people to ask them, let's go out. Look, what you want to do today? They don't feel like doing nothing. A lot of the times, there's people who is around you, trying to engage with you. You yourself want to be left alone because you feel alone. A lot of the times, people have people around them. There are a couple of people who don't have friends, who don't have family members, who don't have no support. But a lot of the times, when you check the stats, they have friends. They have family members. They've been going out on vacation. Like, they have been living their life, but they themselves feel like there's nothing worth living. Not nobody else that's not there for them. And for her to make it seems like, um let's see, it says it's unlikely for others though. As saying, because when she say others, she talk about ugly people. She's not even talking about, like, poor people, or, like, people who don't like middle class people. She's literally talking about ugly people, and ugly is what you consider ugly to be, because you could be ugly to somebody but be gorgeous to another person. And then she throw in, like, people who are obsessed with her and love her and her fans. Not all fans love their celebrities. If you know, like I know, a lot of these celebrities, their fans aren't really their fans. I would say like half of the people that is following any celebrity, that's like half their fan base, like that really genuinely love them, that care about them, that support them, that want the best for them. The other halves are trolls. The other halves are people who only like you because what you look like. They only like you because they you probably might give away, and they might want free stuff from you. There's people that probably only like you because their other faves like them, so they follow you because of that. There's people that follow because they are envious and jealous, like they don't like what you look like, and they want to just hate on you and make your life miserable, and want to make your life miserable because they miserable and bitter. That's why you have to be careful. Not everybody's your fan. Not everybody likes you, and not everybody loves you. For her to so she's probably one of those people that look at all of the likes and follows and comments and think it's all love. That is not necessarily true. I have seen a lot of people who will post a picture, right, and it might get 1 million likes. But when you go in the comments, there's a lot of, oh, they're ugly, oh, they're stupid, oh my God, like, this again, you can't do nothing better. So, like, there's still negativity. Like, there's still negativity and there, but somebody might not care about all the negative part and only focus on the positive. But that is not life. Life isn't just only positivity. It is both positive and negative. And it's okay to admit that negative and positive comes with being famous, and come with being pretty, come with, having all these fans and, these likes and stuff like that. And again, she again herself said that the only reason why she would have gotten help, like professionally help, is because she's beautiful. Girl, therapy is there. Like, therapists, psychiatrists, they're not gonna be like, oh, you too ugly, get out my face. That's not what they do. They're not gonna be like, oh, you don't look, the look. You can't sit here. I don't want your money. I don't want to help. Like, I don't know. That's not what happens. And what about the people who be like, what's wrong? Is it because of their looks? You think a lot of people are not getting help because of their appearance? You think people do not sit there and help nobody? So everybody who have gotten help in their life only got help because they're pretty. That make no sense. And if you believe that make no sense at all. A lot of the times, most people get help because of the support. You have people in your life. You have people around you. You have genuinely good people who might not know you and might just stop and be like, are you okay? Because you don't look okay. Like, they don't know you not for nothing. And they might just take time out their day to help you. So This girl is miserable and bitter. It get worse though. It get worse. So this is somebody else for agreeing with the girl who made the comment in the first place. She said, "Agree. Young, beautiful, rich, smart, fit, nice, kind, good teeth, good hair. Hair, I don't get it. Y'all don't see anything wrong with this. Like this girl committed suicide, and the only thing y'all are focused on is how she looks. But then y'all are upset and saying other people only want to help her because of her looks. It seems like it's just projecting. And y'all believe the only reason people are talking about this is because of how she looked. No, that's not true. She was Miss USA. She was a celebrity. That's why we're talking about it. It has nothing to do with her appearance. There have been plenty of people who have committed suicide, and we have talked about them. The news have talked about them. And not everybody have looked conventionally, pretty or gorgeous or had the nice body and stuff like that. It's that they're just famous. We know who they are. Well, I didn't know who she was, but people did. And because of that, that's why they're talking about it. It's not because of what she looks like. I know because of what she looks like, people are confused because people have this stupid idea that, oleology, people have this stupid way of thinking that only ugly people hate themselves. Ugly people commit suicide. Ugly people get depressed. Ugly people go through things. Ugly people get cheated on. Like, ugly people go through yada, yada, yada. And that is not true. That is not true. The world goes through that. People go through this. It's not just an ugly person thing. And I don't know why she's making it about that. I don't know why both of them are making it about that. That have nothing to do with that, because at the end of the day, we don't know the reason. We do not know why she did what she did. So you cannot say she did it because she felt ugly in the inside. We don't know why. Like, committing suicide is not just because you hate what you look like. It could be anything. It could literally, you could have got fired today, and you would have been like, that's it. I don't want to do nothing because I don't want to deal with going into the shelter, not be able to pay my rent, not be able to support my child. Like, that have nothing to do with what you look like. It could be anything, but because when it comes to a woman, it's always she must hate herself. We do not know her life. We don't know the stress that she has been going through. We don't know any of that. And for people to speculate, and speculating is fine, because if you don't know, all you can do is speculate. But to turn your speculation into 100% fact, we don't know. We don't know at all. And I want people to educate themselves more about suicidal thoughts and suicide. A lot of the times it's not just because they're what they look like. It's everything. Like, it's more than one thing for somebody to be like, fuck it, I can't take life anymore. So let's all educate ourselves, guys. So then we're gonna get into the next comment. It says, I personally knew her, and you never know what someone is going through. Her family and friends are out here grieving, so you sound bitter, and your comment was completely pointless. And I completely agree, because she do sound bitter, because she's not even highlighting, oh, why, what's going on. Oh, I'm so sad that she committed suicide. Like, this is just like a bad thing. It's like, oh, she was just pretty gorgeous. Why would she do this? She's really pretty, so anybody could have helped her. Like, I'm pretty sure she had like thousands of people lining up to, help her. Like, what's wrong with her? Like, everybody should have known. Why nobody didn't do anything? Because she's pretty. Like, it's just like pretty. She's pretty this and that, pretty that and that. And it's just like, girl, you sound bitter. You sound like you wish you was her. Like, it's giving, I wish I looked like her. And she took that for granted. Like, pretty is not something, like I said before, it's not the end all be all. But for some people who are insecure, and it seems like she's really insecure about her looks, that might be her end all be all to her. And we can't tell somebody how to like be insecure and how to feel about insecurities, but this ain't the way to go. You know, you not liking what you look like, you do not have the right to force somebody else to like what they look like because you wish you look like them. No, that's projecting. The moment that you completely dismiss how somebody feel because you only think that they're beautiful and you wish you look like that and you feel like they shouldn't complain, no, run away from them. Run away. And if you are that person who's always like getting irritated because somebody's saying they don't like what they look like, but you wish secretly you look like them and you don't want to be around them and you think they're ungrateful, go seek help. Go seek help right now. Right now. Because it's not okay to be miserable. It is not okay to be bitter. It's okay to be insecure. Yes, it is. It's okay to feel how you feel and not feel like you're loved and stuff like that. But it's not okay for you to bully a person, because projecting is bullying. You're telling them to shut the fuck up. You're telling them that their opinion and how they feel about themselves is not valid because you look uglier than them. You know, you might be smaller than them. You might be bigger than them. You might be lighter than them. You might be darker than them. You might eat more than them. No. Go seek help, please. Please go see a therapist. So then this is what she had to say. She said you personally knew her and didn't understand the assignment to hug her, text her, or even help her get through her day. Life come with bitterness and it also have a taste. I'm not going to be in the comments giving the people what they want to hear or see no. Okay. I'm going to write how I feel for everybody on earth that is dealing or dealt with what she went through and didn't care about them. Carry on though. Okay. So now she's blaming other people around her for why this girl committed suicide. First of all, it is not nobody's fault for why a person commits suicide. It is not the responsibility of somebody else for you to love yourself, for you to feel like you belong in society. At the end of the day, it is up to you yourself to find value in your own life. If you don't find value in your own life, then nobody else can say or do anything. Why you think when people be like, I hate positivity. Like, I hate when people be like, oh, I look good, but I don't feel good, you know? That's why there's people who say they don't like when they people invite me out to eat, invite me out to go to the movies, invite me out on vacation, because that's not how they feel and they don't want to go out. Like, for you to sit there and put the fault on a family member or a friend for somebody to take it, that is just awful. Like, she's an awful person, and it seems like she don't take no full accountability for nothing and feel like she just want to blame everybody in the world. It is not your fault for why somebody commits suicide. It is not your fault. It's not that, a lot of times it's not that you did enough or you didn't do enough or you did enough. It's up to them. At the end of the day, unless they wrote a note or a video and explaining their reason. But you don't know, and it's not it. No, I don't like that, and I don't like people who do feel like that, and don't feel like that if you, unless you was terrible, like unless it was your fault, like unless you contribute and you did something, then yeah, you played a part in it. But if you was a good supportive person, and like you actually cared about them and you tried your best, your hardest, like you sacrificed a lot to try to make them happy and love themselves, then no, it's not your fault, because that's what they wanted to do and that's what they was going to do anyway. And then again, she said text or even get her through her days. Again, that's not it. There are people who have a great support system. You know, family that hugs them, kiss them, say I love you. You know, never let them feel left out, you know, always going on vacation. Like I said, again, always doing things, activities and stuff like that. You could be around 1,000 million people and still feel alone by yourself. So that was dumb for her to even say that. And then her justifying life come with bitterness and also have a taste. No. No, just because the world is bitter and you are bitter doesn't mean we all have to be bitter. No, just because life sucks, just because you feel the way you feel, does not give you a right to dismiss or project that onto other people. It is not right, and it's not okay. Just because you're not happy with your life doesn't mean everybody else isn't happy with their life. And I understand, again, in society make it seem like we all depressed. Society make it seem like we're all miserable and we all hate ourselves and we all want what the next person want. And because of that, and you have that one way of thinking, like society way of thinking, so you're not thinking for yourself. You think we all out here like this. You think we all out here stressing. And that's not true. Like that's not true. There's a lot of people like her I have met personally, and it's so sad because they didn't know that they was a projector at all. They thought they was really saying something special. Like they thought that they was saying something helpful, and it wasn't. It was just a projection of their life and how they see themselves. Let's see what else he said. Um Yeah, when she said she's not gonna write what people want to hear, what I don't know what she mean by that. All you had to say was rest in peace, or said nothing at all. Like you didn't have to say, well, oh, she's pretty, so why she killed herself. Like that's the only reason why people are even saying something, because you could have just said rest in peace like everybody else and be like, oh, this is sad. You never know what somebody going through. You flat out said, um why she kill herself because she's pretty. Like, she's so ungrateful. You call a girl who commits suicide so ungrateful because she was just so pretty. I don't understand her life. Okay. Okay. And she says she's writing how she feels for everybody on this earth that is dealing or dealt with this. You cannot speak for everybody, only yourself. So, bing bong. And then she said what she went through and didn't care about them, so carry on. Again, she keep comparing regular people with celebrities. We only know celebrities because they are everywhere. They post about them. I'm not going to know who you are because you're not famous. You're not a celebrity. I don't know who you are. And this goes for anybody and everybody who's listening. I don't know you. You don't know me. We never met. I don't know what your favorite color is. I don't know what you just ate for lunch and dinner. Like, I don't know these things. But does that mean I don't care if something was to happen to you, like suicide? No, that does not mean that. We won't know. That's the thing. Like, she's comparing stuff about people that we know and people we don't know. How do you know somebody commits suicide, and how are we supposed to react to somebody committing suicide if we don't know that they commit suicide? No, we like her statement does not make any sense at all, at all. Like, the only time you could say something like that, if it was on the news and people literally was paying it dust. Like, it was on the news, it got coverage. Maybe one or two blog posted, one or two people posted, and that was it. There was no shine, no nothing. Then I could understand because it was on national TV and people just said fuck it. They don't care. That's different than people not even knowing what happened. And we're not the same. We're not regular people like us are not going to get the same coverage. I I just don't like that she is trying to make it seem like poor people, the non-celebrity people, non-famous people, the non-pretty people, nobody care about them. Like, nobody loves them. And if you feel that way, she herself needs to seek help, because she might be feeling like nobody loves her, and nobody probably loved or care about the people around her, so she feel like that's the whole world, and that's not the whole world. There are good people in the world, there are kind people in the world, there are people who do care about people, but to have this anger and this frustration and this bitterness, it's not the way, because you're only pushing people away from you, and you're going to be wind up by yourself, not because you're ugly, not because you think you're a loser, not because of this, and not because you're bitter and you're miserable and you're angry, and don't nobody want to hear that. Don't nobody want to have a decent conversation with somebody, and every second it's, oh, well, look what I look like. Oh, I couldn't get that job because I'm ugly. I couldn't go on a date because I'm ugly. Oh, nobody want to be my friend because I'm ugly. Oh, I can't even go to the store because I'm ugly. Like, nobody want to hear this 24/7. There's a difference when you feel these types of way and you like, okay, you know what? I don't like what I look like. Let me figure out what I can do to live with my quote unquote ugliness. If not, then let me figure out what I can do to fix the things that I don't like about myself. Like, we have options, especially in 2022, y'all. It's 2022. You do not have to love what you look like. If you don't want to love yourself, you don't have to. And if you want to change something about you, you can. We have options. We can go to the gym. We can go get surgery. We can drink weight gain powder. We can do more healthier ways to get what we want. We don't have to sit here and choose to like how we was born with, and it's okay. And it's okay to feel that way. But it's not okay for you to project that onto other people. It is not okay for you to hate yourself and then get mad at somebody you wish you looked like and tear them down and feel like their life and what happened to them and their struggle and their trauma does not matter, because you feel like you way uglier than them, and you feel like your quote unquote ugliness is way more important than them. Since when? Since when? Since when? Because at the end of the day, aren't we all human beings? Aren't we all have feelings? Don't we all, go through our own trials and tribulations? What you wouldn't like if somebody told you, well, you're ugly, shut the fuck up, who cares? Oh, you're poor, shut the fuck up, who cares? Oh, you don't have money? Shut the fuck up, who cares? You wouldn't like that. You would not like that. So why is it okay for you to turn around and do the same thing that you wish somebody wouldn't say to you? Exactly. Make no sense. It don't make not one sense Not one since. And this is what the person said in response to her saying this dumb bullshit. This is what the girl that said she was her friend and knew her. She said, "You're writing for everyone or speaking for yourself. Period. Making this tragedy about you when it's not but her. I carry on because I already entertained your ass enough." And that's on period. Because one, she thinks she is speaking for everybody. You're not. You don't know other people experience and how they felt. And not everybody who felt like committing suicide or on the brink of, the pressing into that, don't have a lot of times don't have that bitterness in the world. A lot of the times there's people who don't like the world and then they don't like themselves. And then there's people that don't like both. That's what I'm saying. She don't know the reason why this person commits suicide. And then she is making this tragedy about herself. Again, she ain't say nothing about like old girl. She did not say, "Oh, I'm so sorry this happened. Rest in peace to her." She said, "Well, you're pretty. You should never have done that. Other people have died. Oh, well." That's like, girl, stop. And then what's sad is there's so many people that think this way. That, like, when I say there was a couple of like comments talking about, "Wow, she's so pretty. Wow, are you sure she fell? You sure she wasn't pushed?" Like, there's people who just can't believe because of what she looks like, she commits suicide. Because, again, we live in a superficial world where people just can't fathom that somebody who look handsome, pretty, gorgeous would want to kill themselves because they put value into looks. So they believe it's only about looks. And that's what the whole conversation have only been focused on her looks, not like the situation. And then this is what somebody else had responded, and this is what I'm gonna post it. So this person said, I know this long. This person said the last thing a person on the brink of committing suicide is thinking is to go to social media to ask for help or leave a message to explain why they want to die. Can you not believe that people are capable of being mean and dismissive to beautiful people too? True. When they reach out for help, explain. Let's say she didn't. Let's say she did ask for help to her fans. Do you know how many trolls would have messaged her saying, "How could you?" Quote parentheses, a beautiful and successful woman parentheses have real problems like regular folks. Get over it. Cry baby. Blah 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 blah. Folks got real problems. Just nasty, hurtful messages. People Because people think if you're beautiful, there's no way you should be allowed to feel sadness or suffering. Pretty people get bullied too. And then they feel like they have to cry in silence because no one feels sorry for them. That's just like that girl. Because they should be grateful to look good and have it all. Being attractive is not the antidote of to feeling Being attractive is not the antidote to feeling of sadness, pain, and it doesn't always unlock the box of getting treated better than, as you say, ugly people. Whether you're pretty or ugly, we all have the same heart that looks and feels the same deep depth of sadness and depression. Don't judge a book by its cover. You never know the story inside. And I completely agree. I've said this on my other podcast when I talked about pretty privilege. Pretty people get dismissed because you're not supposed to go through things. You're supposed to be grateful. I 100% agree with this person said. You can't be pretty and say you got bullied because don't nobody care. You can't say you're pretty and you got cheated on. Don't nobody care because there's more people that want you. There's more people. It's always going to be like it don't matter because more people. But then when quote unquote people who are ugly feels like why people judge me and criticize me, you're doing the same thing. It does not give you a pass because you feel insecure doesn't mean it give you a pass to make somebody else feel some type of way and feel like it don't matter because you don't look like them. That's not okay. And it's true. Pretty people cannot say anything without somebody feeling some type of way. And it's not just pretty people. People with money. If somebody have more money than you saying, oh, life sucks, you're going to be like, I wish I had all of that life suck money. You're going to dismiss how they're going. You don't know all of the rent they have to pay, all of the tax they have to pay, but you don't care. See, that's the thing. You don't want to care. You don't want to care what somebody going through because you only want the lifestyle that they have. That none of that matters. None of that matters to the girl who wrote that comment. Like she don't care what she went through because she feel like looking better it's the end all be all. And it's not. And it's not. And if you put value and only material things, then you're never going to be satisfied because there's always going to be somebody that look prettier than you. There's always going to be somebody with more money than you. There's always going to be somebody with the bigger house than you. The more cars, the better, relationship. It's always going to be somebody more. And if you only put value in material things, then you're gonna have a hard life because at the end of the day, we all gonna get old. If we make it to that age, and we all gonna look old, like old and wrinkly. Like our looks ain't gonna matter. Like people is not gonna look at us and judge us based off our looks. That's not gonna matter. What's gonna save us is our personalities. The way you treat other people. Like that. That does not. Ugh. It's sad because again there are people like that do think what they look like only matters and it doesn't. Why you think there's people who got surgery and they still hate themselves? Because they thought that was the answer. They thought that was going to be that's what they needed to find love. Didn't work. It didn't work. They went and got a great job, a nice job, able to buy everything they want. Still ain't got no friends. Still not going out on dates. Still not happy, still not satisfied because they thought that was the answer. If the answer is for you to love yourself. That is the answer. The answer is for you to accept who you are. Be confident in who you are. Be grateful for what you are. And the moment you live for yourself and not for others, then you're good. Then you're good and you found the answer to life and you be all right. And this is what I said before, people do believe that. I don't know why she gatekeeping depression. Like, I don't know why, quote unquote, because she said ugly people, is gatekeeping depression. That's not okay. Everybody get depressed. Everybody get sad. Everybody get angry. These are just normal things. And like, everybody got insecure. Maybe you're not insecure anymore. And that's great. And kudos to you. Because it's very hard to love yourself in a society when everybody is telling you not to. And it's okay. You just have to figure it out. You just have to like I said before, love who you are and accept who you are, or change who you are. And if you want to change who you are, but make sure you're doing it for you, not for anybody else. Make sure you want to look good for yourself, because I have seen other celebrities who said that, like, when they was coming into the game, they have gotten surgery and they regret it. So make sure, anything you do, make sure you're doing it for yourself, because you don't want to regret it. And then, like, you're going to have to pay way more money to do with the stuff that you did to yourself, and you thought this was going to be this and that. No, I think everybody need to see a therapist before they make life-changing decisions. Make sure this is what you actually want. And that's not only just for like surgery, that's also being around certain particular people. Drinking, doing drugs. Like, don't do it because you think it's cool and you think this is what you need to do to fit in. Because then, like, down the road, you're going to fuck up your life. You know, drinking and doing drugs is cool, fun for now, but look outside. Look around the people around you. Look at the people who are older than you. They ain't having a good old time, suffering from these addictions and stuff like that. They was also once you a couple of years ago. So if you don't want that to be your life, make sure this is something you're doing because you want to, because it feel good for you, not for nobody else. Then she goes on and say, I don't know what world you live in, but who the fuck wouldn't want to be pretty? Let's not make it seem what it's not, because it can be vice versa. But have you ever heard of pretty girl power? Okay. Where you get things or get treated good just because you're pretty? No, it's not blah, blah, blah. And that's exactly why people like you need to sit this one out, but let me talk for the ones who wish they could say something on this situation. I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I'm going to stand on it. Mm-hmm. Again, like I said before, she's only focusing on the prettiness, not focusing on nothing else. Okay, and she also said, and the problem with you people, again, guys, the person who made a comment picture was black, and they have no picture, like it's private, like they have no picture or anything, and like she don't know exactly what that person who comment said anything, like we do not know what this person look like, but she say, you people, okay, y'all see something y'all don't like and act like I said something hurtful about this young girl. I literally said she is beautiful and successful. That's the problem. Why would she let it go to waste? Another problem. It is what it is. You're mad because people on earth not going to say what y'all want to hear. And that's the problem. Y'all be faking y'all reaction. At least I'm genuine. The problem is you only care about her beauty, and it's not about her beauty. Suicidal thoughts and stuff like that have nothing to do with her appearance or anything. But you're only focusing on her appearance. That's the problem. And then you're mad because other people are not focusing on her appearance. And you think that's the problem. You think everybody else is being fake because we're saying that mental illness don't have a look. And you're upset that we're not agreeing with you. That's the problem. You're confused and calling us fake and calling everybody your people because you don't understand where other people is coming from. And that's the problem. People who are this bad insecure, like this bad, they can't see no other problem but that one problem. Like they only see, I want to be beautiful and I want to be handsome. I want to look good. That's all I care about. So if you have what I want, then what's wrong with you? And that's where she's coming from. She's coming from a point of, you have it all. So what's wrong? What's wrong? Because she thinks that's the only way to live. And other people is telling her there's not one way to live. That's not the only reason. That's not what life means. So she's lost and she's so confused, and everybody else is fake. We all fake. Whoever, don't agree with her, we all fake, I guess. And then somebody else said, you're projecting your own insecurities onto her just because she was pretty. You can't fathom why she would possibly have have dealt with mental health issues, shaking my head. Exactly. Exactly. That's literally what was going on. That's the problem. And she cannot, probably to this day, don't know where other people is coming from. And then somebody else said mental illness don't discriminate. It attacks the rich, poor, privileged, and pretty. Somebody else said, LMNAO, I'm not finna argue with you or the 12 people who like this comment, but sis, you sound about dumb as fuck. And you sure do. And you do. And it is crazy because when I say there are so many people who thinks this way, and it's so unfortunately because insecurities, and I've always say this, and I'm not a licensed therapist or I don't have a license or anything, but I completely agree that insecurities is a part of mental health issues. Like, insecurities is fine, but sometimes it ruins your life to the point that you want to take your own life. That's when it becomes bad. Like, this fine when saying you don't like this and you don't like that, and you might don't like your ears, probably don't like your teeth. That's fine. You're not gonna like everything about yourself, but when it goes to I hate, I hate myself, and I hate what I look like, and I can't stand this, to the point like you can't get out of bed, to the point that you can't go nowhere anymore. You quit your job. These are when it becomes a mental health issue, an issue that we as a collective need to talk about it, and insecurities need to be thrown in the mix as well. But because we live in a world where society tells you it's okay to be depressed and it's okay to be insecure, but they're not telling you the positive way to get out of it and how to control it better. It's all about being depressed. Woe is me today. It's about who is more depressed than the other, who have more trauma than the other. And that's not okay. It's not okay. Obviously, we're human. We're going to go through things. But it's about how you get out of these situations. It's about how you feel about yourself. Yeah, people going to be mean. People could bully you. People going to say a whole bunch of other stuff about you. But if you don't think these things about yourself, then you're going to be okay. Because if somebody say you ugly, and you not ugly, and you know you look good, that's not going to bother you. It's not going to bother you. But if you feel ugly and you don't feel good about yourself, and somebody come along saying something that you constantly tell yourself, then it only validate how you feel about yourself, because then you like, okay, well, this person feel this about me, so I was right. We gotta, we gotta change our perspective on the world and yourself. Like, just because you don't look at the world through other people's eyes. Look at the world through your own eyes. And I know there's some people who do and they still don't like themselves, and that's okay. But for the ones that is only who only hate themselves or started to not like who they are because somebody else pointed it out to you, or like somebody else said something to you, and you feel like, wow, I've never noticed this about myself. I didn't know, I look like this. I thought I looked okay. I thought I looked good until, because again, there are people who just can't keep their opinion to themselves. They have to say something. And maybe that was probably when you started to feel insecure. Maybe that's when you started to feel like you wasn't good enough because somebody pointed out something that you never focus on. And again, that's okay. All you have to do is get the proper help. You can go see a therapist. You don't always need to take medication. I feel like medication is really extreme. Like when you know you need it, like you feel like you can't do nothing without it, then probably take medication. But first, I would say make a list. Make a list about pros and cons about yourself, and about where you want to be in life and the people you want to be around, and make sure this is something you want. Make sure this is your life, not nobody else expectation, not nothing else, your family, your friends, who you're dating, no, nothing. Make sure this is something you want, and ask yourself why you want it, because you will always fail if it's for somebody else and for somebody else's approval. Make sure it's your approval first, and make sure you're kind to yourself, because we can bully our own self. Like, we can literally talk down to ourselves like nobody else can, and we literally can make ourselves cry, make us go through the motions. And don't do that. Be kind to yourself, and be kind to yourself one day at a time. You don't have to, fully change everything right then and then, because it takes time to heal. Take time to love yourself. And loving yourself isn't just what you look like. It can be showering every day. It could be washing your hair. It could be getting your nails done. It could be getting a haircut. It could be, oh, let me finally start buying me some clothes, because you probably never really took care of your clothes, or how you felt. Probably buying you some perfume. Start simple. Start off slow. And if it's money, child, I don't know, get a good job. Go, probably go to college. Probably get probably find a place that needs you. Make your own business. I don't know when it comes to that, but well, I hope this probably shed a light on suicide. That it's not just a one person situation. Not only like one look, like suicide don't have a look, depression don't have a look, mental illness doesn't have a look, and any and everybody can be going through something. And we are not mind readers. We cannot read your mind. So if you do need help, or you want help, or you feel like you can't talk to somebody, or you feel like we should know, like people around you should know how you feel, they can't. They don't read your mind. You do have to say something if you need help. You do have to let people know what's going on, for somebody can help you. And if you are in a situation where you do ask for help and you feel like nobody is listening, nobody's hearing you, then you have to go somewhere else. Call somebody else. There's hotlines that you can call and you can talk to, and that people are meant to help you, because there are people in our life that's not going to want to help you. They want to ignore a situation. And there's people in our life that don't know how to deal. Like, there's people who the only way of healing might be to do drugs. That's not what you need. The only way they can heal is drinking all day. That's not what you need. Maybe the only way of them healing is eating. That ain't what you need. So there's like so many ways that a lot of people cope with, and doesn't mean it's the best or the healthiest. So it's always good to have more than one person opinion and option and advice of feeling better, or how to get through certain situation, because at the end of the day, most people are just trying to live, trying to get to another day, surviving. And we don't have the best survival skills when it comes to being black and people of color. We have not, like, mental health issues just started to become a conversation a couple of years ago. This was not something that we talked about, and like now we're talking about it, and like it's going to take a longer way, because there's people who like to have trauma competition, trauma this, trauma that. You didn't go through that. You don't deserve to feel this way, because I've been through more trauma. And the moment we start to actually accept that everybody trauma is different, and it's okay that you've been through this and somebody been through something. It's okay to admit that it's both true. Y'all both been through trauma. Y'all both been through things, and it's okay to accept that. One don't take away from the other. So let's do that. Like, let's be more accepting and more understanding from where people's coming from, and let's stop projecting. Let's stop that. Just because you got bullied doesn't mean you have the right to bully somebody else. Just because you got cheated on doesn't mean you have the right to cheat on somebody. Just because somebody dismissed you don't mean you have the right to dismiss somebody. Obviously, we don't live in a perfect world. I understand it's take time to heal. Hurt people. And because she kept bringing up, pretty, gorgeous and ugly, just because you're quote unquote ugly in society, it is not pretty people's fault. Blame your parents. They made you. They created you. Blame society for looking down on you. But you cannot blame somebody who did nothing to you. It's not their fault. They're not the one that reject you. They're not the one that is, talking about you. Blame the individual, yes, but to like make it seem like pretty people don't go through anything, and they don't understand rejection. Not everybody get asked out on a date. And just because you look a certain way doesn't mean you're going to be happy. Doesn't mean you're going to have a faithful relationship. If you don't know, people get cheated all the time. And you could be a bad bitch. You could be very good looking. You could have all of the money, the cars, and you still get cheated on. That doesn't equal you're not going to be hurt. So I would say both, everybody, don't judge people. The same way you don't want to be judged based off of your looks and your appearance, don't judge others, because not everybody is the same. There are nice, kind people, and nice and kind doesn't only equivalent to ugly people. I've I've been around quote unquote regular basic people, and they mean as fuck. That mean, like they mean, like mean don't have a look. Mean is just mean. Is just people. So, with that being said, I hope everybody heals. Like, get the real proper healing. I hope people understand projection. Because people project all the time. Like, when I mean all the time, all the time. And I hope that, eventually you stop blaming everybody for why you hate your life. Like, the only reason why you hate your life is because you hate your life. I will always say happiness is a choice. You do get to choose to be happy. You have that choice to be happy, and it's not going to be easy. It is a journey to, live with the cards you was dealt, to like accept what had happened to you and all of your trials and tribulations. But that's a choice to heal. You have to want to heal. You have to want to be better. And you have to want to accept your life for who you are. Stop. We, as a society, have to stop comparing trauma, because a lot of y'all say, well, my experience was worse than yours. And then y'all like to say, well, I'm not trying to take away your experience. You are. Every time. That's like a backhanded compliment. That's saying, oh, I understand you've been through trauma, but it's still not like mine. It's not the same. When a lot of people don't even say it's the same. A lot of people are not even saying it's the same. It's the same. You just hear it. That's what you hear, because you don't want to believe, like I said before, someone that looked like this could be going through something similar like you. And with that, I'm going to leave it here. This has been a long one. Um, Let me know what you think. Comment, Tell me how you feel. Tell me how suicide had impacted your life or people around you, how you feel. Um, just let me know. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope everything is okay with you. I hope you're okay. I hope you're doing fine. If nobody asks you, are you okay? Are you okay? Virtual hugs to everybody. Just know I care about you, even though I don't know you, but I love I love life and I love other people. I just want everybody to be happy. Like if it was up to me, I want everybody to be happy and love themselves, but it's not up to me. It's up to you. Choices is yours. So enjoy the rest of your day, night, morning, whenever you're listening to this. Be happy. Bye.